Well, today's episode, we're just going to be reviewing two shows. The first one is going to be the last show for ChocoPro 300. This is day two before their season finale. But also in this one features the Super Asia Championship on the line. Balinaki defends it against someone he has never beaten in a singles competition. We're talking about Hagen Nishino, who has challenged this title before, but now the obvious question is, will Balinaki Lux change? Will he be able to defeat Hagene? Or will Hagene finally fulfill what he always wanted, is to win the Super Asia Championship? And of course, at New Japan Pro Wrestling, as we continue on with more of the New Japan Cup, we have two matches in the second round in the New Japan Cup. But the obvious thing is, this one features, of course, the members of the United Empire in their own respective matches. So the obvious thing is, will they prevail or will they fail? And of course, we got some interesting news updates regarding, of course, former now WWE and NXT star Sarray. We got other things we're going to be talking about as well. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, let's begin with ChocoPro 300. This is day two, the last show of their season. Can't believe it went by a little faster, but right now this is an important event. As you know, when they reach a milestone, another 100 something episode, like they did with 100 and then 200, now 300, I can't believe how far they have gotten with this for almost 2 years. But we opened up the show with Meishru giving the announcement, what matches were going to be, and of course, we have the former Super Asia champion, Fumio Fujita, once again being on the microphone for the ring announcing throughout the entirety of the show. Now, first match, we feature Tokiko Kirihara and Chiko Shikawa taking on Miya Yatsuba, teaming up with Masahiro Takanashi. Now, X factor of this match, Miya as the new girl, you know she's going to play out the role where will be the one targeted, because she's not the weakest link, but not the least experienced in the match. But Masa will do whatever it takes to win the match by being a little bit more clever than usual. But it was, of course, Tokiko who picked up the victory when she applied a submission move on Miya Yotsuba and forcing her to give up, giving both Chi and Tokiko the win for this one. Our next match, we have a very interesting six-person tag match. Team number one, we have Tamura teaming with Yasu Urino, and then, of course, the legend Kaori Yoneyama. They take on the members of the Uma Army. We have Kojio, I think that's the name. Then we have Dragon Sakura Nobo, and then, of course, Sayaka Obihiro. Now, some of you may ask me, wait a minute, she's a member of Uma Army. Remember, she teamed up with what's his name, with Kappa Kozo. She's part of that army too as well, because she's friends with Deathworm. So it was a pretty good match. Now, keep in mind, Uma Army always tries to find ways to pick up the win. But the one thing that is really good about this is the one person that you know you can count on in every way to end the match, and is, of course, Yoneyama. As you know, how Yoneyama, excuse me about that. Okay. Anyway, Yoneyama, she is a high speedster. That speed is in her grasp, which she did when she applied the O'Connor roll on a Obihiro, giving them the win. So, as you know, Yonoyama's always his signature move, always gives her the perfect edge to win. Now our next match we have singles competition. These are the proteges of course, the founder of Got to Move slash ChocoPro, Amy Saka. We got Mochi Natsumi of Prominence, and of course the Big Apple herself, Mei Suruga. Now some of you may ask, wait a minute, really? Mochi Natsumi was trained by Amy Sakura? Yes, she has trained many wrestlers. Mochi Natsumi is one of them. So it's kind of like interesting to see two students of Amy Sakura. But I think the obvious thing is which one is going to reign supreme. We know Amy Sakura had plenty of students. I mean, who could forget Hikaru Shida, Riho? I know Mei Suruga has like deep, not a grudge, but more like, okay, I want Rio's throne, because if you guys remember, Rio was the ace of Got to Move before she made the move to AEW. But this time it's more like, okay, who has far long better experience under the tutelage of Emi Sakura, and I thought it was a pretty good match. Now the only thing I do know is you got like Mei Suruga with her speed as her main weapon, but Mochi Natsumi, who has many years more experience than her, is by her side. I was surprised when she applied the Styles Clash on her, giving her the win. I'm sure May is not happy with the idea how this ended in favor of Natsumi, but nonetheless, she probably will challenge her again at some point in the future. Now, our main event features the Super Asia Championship. We have Hagane Shino versus Balinaki, our champion. Now, as you guys don't remember or not, if you've been following this channel from wherever you guys started, the only time I do remember Hagane Shino has challenged for this belt is when Minoru Fujita was still the champion. It was during a tag match. Hagane actually pinned Minoru Fujita for an opportunity, and that gave that singles match. And I think this is a perfect opportunity because he has more experience than Balanaki, but the only X factor here in this matchup is Hagane was able to defeat Balanaki more times than ever in singles competition. But like I said, can Balinaki retain the title and finally do the one thing he's been unable to do for quite some time against Hagane? Well, the obvious thing is it did not go exactly to Balinaki's way. Apparently, Hagane applied the Red Hind in order to become our brand new Super Asia champion. I'm sure Balinaki cannot believe it, that all that work that he has done to not only to maintain the title, but also beat the one person he hasn't just disappeared like that. Now, now for our Jonkin tournament, this one was a very difficult one to pinpoint. I was surprised that the Best Bros didn't make it through. Um, but I will tell you who won this one anyway. Minoru Fujita again. I mean, that is the second time in a row. So, wow. So, that's pretty much it with ChocoPro. If you guys are going to ask me when they'll be back, well, I can tell you that give them 10 days. They will announce for their upcoming matches. It's still unclear because, as you know, we have been seeing Mei Suruga and Balinaki making U.S. tours. We'll just wait and see how that goes. So I think that's pretty much it with the ChocoPro stuff. So let's move on to our final review, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Well, as you know, we continue with more of the New Japan Cup. Right now, we're in the second round matches. Now, several wrestlers have won their opening matches. However, there are those who receive a bye. Um, these are the ones that won their matches and the ones that actually had a bye. We'll get to those in a bit. Now, our opening match, we have Oscar Lobe, the young lion, teaming with, hey, look, it's Hamna. That's right, him. They take on Rohi Oiwa and Ren Narita. Now, keep in mind, in this particular match, we have two factors that fits in. Both sides have young lions, and both sides have much experienced wrestlers. But I look at Tomoaki now who has more experience than Ren Narita, but Ren Narita has gained the reputation of being a much stronger competitor. So the obvious thing is who was going to walk out? Well, it was Ren Narita with the figure four onto Oscar Lobe, forcing him to tap out, giving the win to him, and of course with Oiwa. Next match, we got Yuto Nakashima with Shota Umino taking on, of course, TMDK, Kosa Fujita, and Zack Sabre Jr. Now, keep in mind, Zack Sabre Jr. and Shota Umino will cross paths in the New Japan Cup. This is going to be interesting. But however, in the last couple of tag team matches, we have seen Shota Umino have shown very promising. But the obvious thing is, can he overcome a guy like Zack Sabre Jr.? That's until that day. But in this case, it was, of course, Shota Umino with the STF onto Fujita, forcing him to tap out while Zack Sabre Jr. was helpless to reach him while being detained by Nakashima. And of course, the W goes to them. Next up, we got just four guys: Doiki, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Taka Michinoku, and Taichi taking on the members of the Bullet Club, El Fantasmo, Chase Owens Kenta, and David Finlay. Now, much of this match we have been seeing with the Bullet Club. Seems like things are going a little difficulty with the Bullet Club. As you know, Phantasmo has shown not an attitude, but more like a change of what he feels about David Finlay being there. There was hesitancy, he was trying to be there, and then we saw that in this particular match, the reverse. Finlay acting like, come on, Phantasmo, reach the ropes, that sort of thing. But did that stop? No. Phantasmo was able to apply the sudden death onto Taka, giving Bullet Club the win. But however, how long is this going to go on with the Bullet Club, knowing that there's some problems within it, despite they can say? But Kevin Kelly said he will try to pull some strings to have El Fantasmo join in the commentary. He wants to hear what is his thoughts, because we still don't know what's going on with him. Next up, we got the House of Torture, Dick Togo, Sho, Yujiro Takahashi, and Evil taking on the United Empire. Mark Davis, Great O'Connor, and Jeff Cobb, and Will Ospreay. Now, the interesting thing is we do know Evil will be facing Jeff Cobb the following day in the New Japan Cup, but we are going to see Mark Davis and Will Ospreay face off each other as well. But the one thing that they need to be more worried about is, the House of Torture, the most hated group in New Japan, will always try to cut corners by applying cheating, choking the life out of their opponents, tossing them outside to soften them up and whatnot. But in this case, it was, of course, a submission by Great Khan to Dick Togo that forced him to quit and give the win to United Empire. But will Jeff Cobb overcome Evil? As you know, Evil has dirty tactics. The House of Torture have been known to do something like this, but we'll see when that day comes. Now, our next match, which is the last before we get to the New Japan Cup matches, we have Chaos members Toru Yano, Tomohiro Ishii, Yoshihashi, Yo, and Leo Rush taking on all 5 members of the LIJ group, with the exception of Titan, who's not present. Bushi, Hiromu, Sanada, Shingo, and Naito. Now, you probably can guess there's certain aspects in this match, because we do know that Leo Rush will get an opportunity against Hiromu for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, but Sanada and Naito have to coexist. Know the fact that they are going to be facing each other in the New Japan Cup, which is going to be quite interesting in my opinion. So I thought it was a pretty good match, but I did like the combination when Shingo Takagi took out Yano with the popping bomber, but it was Naito with the jackknife that allowed him to win. But now you can see that this is going to be interesting. The cooperation with LIJ is still strong, but Hiromu has a date with Leo Rush soon enough for the title. Now, our next match is the last two of the second rounds of the New Japan Cup. We have Aaron Henare versus Tama Tonga. Now, as you all know, Aaron Henare, since joining the United Empire, has changed. He felt before he was Hontai that he was not getting the results, but joining with the United Empire has. But the obvious thing is he has to go through Tama Tonga, who has been on quite a roll since he was exiled from Bullet Club. And I think this is going to be interesting. We have two people who have sort of similar backgrounds, what they're doing, not to mention their heritage are Tongan. So that kind of sets it on. But we know that the only main weapon that Tama Tonga is able to apply is the gun stun. But Henare is no fool. He knew that's going to come. But when we thought things were going to go bad, Tama Tonga overturned it with not with the last two gun stuns to put away Henare, giving him the advancement in order to win the match. He advanced, and this is a very disappointing match with the United Empire knowing that one of their members have lost. However, that was not the case. The following match features another member of the United Empire, Kyle Fletcher, taking on Hiroki Goto, one half of the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Now, keep in mind, Fletcher was in fact pinned Goto's tag partner Yoshihashi, securing hopefully an opportunity for the tag title, but he has to go through Goto, who has more experience than Kyle Fletcher. Now, will this happen? No, it took only the GTR from Goto to pick up a win, and this allowed for Kyle Fletcher not to be advanced. So basically, I had a feeling that Aaron Henare and Kyle Fletcher were not going to make it to the next round, but it's pretty showing. So right now, the only remaining people in the United Empire is Khan, Ospreay, Davis, and Cobb. So we'll see how that goes. So we will see the following day of the New Japan Cup, and we'll go from there. Right now, I think we're done with the reviews. I believe it's time for some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. Now, as you all know, we heard what's been going on. Sarray, the Warrior of the Sun, now formerly of WWE NXT. As you know, she actually had a press conference today. Now it's been confirmed that she's officially done with WWE, but she did state it that she has no grudges or anything. She knows that she did her best and all this. This is what was being said about that. Let's see. She said that she is now going to be working as a freelancer, and that's how she's going to continue going forward. So no, there were speculations recently. There was an announcement by Stardom that there's going to be well, I don't know if it's an emergency press conference, but that's what they said. But people are speculating it has something to do with Sarray. But no, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sarray is given an offer to appear in Stardom, but that's not the case. But she talked about about the wrestlers in WWE are real pros, has nothing but gratitude for her time in WWE. She talked about facing Tiffany Stratton and how she's doing her best is a pro despite not being in the business for very long. So she said that like having singles matches as Sareee ism through her opponent hasn't been decided. Now she's gonna produce a show that's gonna be happening in Shinjuku Face on what on the 16th of she's gonna have like something happening later on in May. Her own show called Sarreeism, I think that's what's it called. But she's gonna focus her time on that. But she did talk. But some people did ask on Twitter, did she talked about her gimmick? You know, the one that looks more like she looked more like a schoolgirl than she transforms. She said she give nothing. She just gives everything positive. That she did the best in her ability as a wrestler to showcase that. But right now, she shows no grudges or anything. She just shows a lot of gratitude for WWE's opportunity. But now she's going to be going freelancing as we speak. But if there's anything right now, anything in the future from here on out with Sarray, we'll find out. Now, if you guys remember clearly, I reported about a luchador named Cuatrero who has been charged for attempting strangulation on a female wrestler named Stephanie Valkyr. Apparently, Valkyr's attorneys, no, Cuartero's attorneys are trying to bail him out. Apparently, that did not happen. He will be spending the next week, week or so in prison, waiting for the next hearing. So the judge was really being straightforward about this. But let's see. However, because of his actions, this is costing a lot of bookings with the bigger promotions. With now, as you know, Cuartero is part of a trio group known as Nueva Generación de Manita, which means Next Generation de Manita, which is the name of the family that his father used to be in, the Amita. Um, Basically, what happened is now that his brothers are paying the price for his actions, so Maricela Peña, who runs AAA, along and also the women's roster, don't want to be around Cuartero's brothers, so that kind of puts it in a bad predicament. But Conan doesn't want to do that because he believes. I mean, if you guys remember, there was a lot of controversy over Conan with having Marty Scurll in AAA. Um, he's trying to give these guys opportunities, despite the fact what their brother did. But I don't think the Maricela or the women's roster want that. So we'll see what goes on. But however, prior before the Cuartero and his brothers appeared in AAA, they were part of CML. Apparently, they don't want nothing to do with them either. So there's no possible return. So I feel bad for the other two brothers who will not be in the much bigger promotions. I wasn't sure about the ones like Chaos or The Crash, two of the most popular promotions in their own respected territories. I wouldn't know about that until if they announce that they don't want them around, then I'll report that as well. Uh, we want to give congratulations to Japanese wrestler Shigeru Iri, who won the 16 Carat tournament, which is a tournament held in Germany by a promotion called uh, West Side Extreme Wrestling. Um, he won the tournament, becoming the winner for the 16 Carat, but also won the XWW Unified World Championship. So but also because of this win, WrestleCon announced that he will be participating in the Super Show. His opponent will be none other than Mike Bailey. So that's going to be good. WrestleCon even announced that they're going to do a straight out of WrestleCon, basically like an after party after the whole thing is done. So the information will be in their on the website. Sumie Sakai has made her appearance recently in just recently in CML. Apparently, she's going to participate the um, in the Irma Gonzalez Cup. I don't know what that's. I don't know who she is. But she'll be making her debut soon enough. As you know, Sumie Sakai is on her final run as a wrestler. Can't wait to see where she's going to go. Um, West Coast Pro has announced for their new show, Operation Stack Cola, that will take place on the 9th of June in San Francisco as the stateroom. No information has been announced, but we'll see from there. GCW announced for their match in Canada, The Worst Behavior. Matt Cardona will be facing against Sexy Eddie. I don't know who that guy is, but we'll see about that. Prestige Wrestling is announced for the Roseland 5 event on the 29th of April. Miyu Yamashita will be facing against Queen Aminata. Now, I know Queen Aminata has done a tour in Japan. I think she might have heard she is, but this is going to be interesting. As you know, Queen Aminata did a tour with Marvelous. I'm sure she's well prepared to handle someone like Miyu Yamashita from then on. So I think that's pretty much it for our news update. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. As I said before, coming up, we will continue with more of New Japan, with the New Japan Cup, with more of the second round matches. So we'll see where that progresses. And as you know, I haven't seen some of the GCW events yet. I will put that as a priority. If there's anything else, then we'll go from there. So I'm going to try to wing it. And also, don't forget, we got AW Dark Elevation. So can't wait to see how that's going to go. So for now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I'm going to bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.